The only real guarantee in life is that things will not go as expected. I'm sure you've had instances in your life where you've planned things out, you've tried to control every little detail, and things either blew up in your face or did not take you on the path that you thought you were going to be on. And maybe you're happy, maybe you're not, but it's just the guarantee of life is that things are always going to go not as planned precisely. We're sticklers for our to-do lists, our vision boards, stuff for the future, right? A lot of us yield so much control, and I think this is really an issue right now with a lot of people's frustration in their own lives, is that they have this hold, this control of how things are supposed to be. It's kind of like when our parents feel devastated when your kids say, "Oh, I don't want to get married," or "I don't want kids," right? Because they had this vision of how things were supposed to be, right? A lot of societal expectations of how things are supposed to be. You're supposed to get married by a certain age. You're supposed to graduate college by a certain age, have a certain job, a certain salary, have this many kids by a certain age, a boy and a girl, so every culture or every family can be different, or everybody's personal journey. But you'll notice down the line that, where you end up is probably not where you thought you would end up maybe 10, 15 years ago. And I'm sure you can pull a lot of examples out of your own life from this. And I think this is really a lesson in the fact that we're not always in control. It's this illusion of control. And again, this is what frustrates us to the nth degree, is that we're holding on to things, an expectation or way we think things are supposed to be in our lives. And we'll be much happier if we learn to yield some of that control, learn the test of adaptability, have some leeway for yourself. Because essentially control is an illusion, okay? It's fabricated by the mind that, these to-do lists, or I need to accomplish these certain things in my life by a certain date. A lot of it is maybe we're comparing ourselves to other people, and a lot of it is just how we grew up, right? We don't feel worthy unless we accomplish these things. Or maybe 10 years down the road, we don't want to let our past selves down knowing that we didn't accomplish these things that we set out. So a lot of it, we're attached to our expectations, we're attached to our to-do list, we're attached to things that maybe don't even resonate with us anymore. But it's like, oh, well, I told myself that I needed to do this or accomplish this or be at a certain point in my life. Like I should be, which is one of the worst words in the English language. Any language is should, right? Or whatever the equivalent of that word is in other languages. Because it's this constant guilt trip that we give ourselves for not being certain, on a certain path. And you could argue that it doesn't matter what road you take, you're still going to end up in the same place in your life, whether or not you believe that. I think it has a lot to do with alignment, what's aligned to us. Like obviously we don't want to end up being a drug dealer or a prostitute out on the street or homeless, right? Living in a cardboard box or anything. So I think there is kind of a lesson in there, or a test of alignment, what's aligned to us in our life. What are we holding on to that's no longer in alignment to us? Because a lot of times that is where frustration stems from, okay? So when you have a block, when you feel stuck, realize that when you feel stuck in your life, when you feel at a standstill, when you start feeling frustrated, that you need to be doing more than what you're doing right now, or you need to be in a different place from where you are, realize that those are probably the past expectations that live somewhere inside your head, okay? They live somewhere in there. They have like a little bedroom in there, and they pop out from time to time when maybe you're sitting alone, or maybe you're looking at other people or online and seeing what your friends are doing, and they come out, they open the door, little whatever, a little little you coming out there in your head, and they say, "Ooh, you should be where this person is. You should be farther along, right? You shouldn't be where you are now." But just realize where you are now, essentially where you're supposed to be. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. You're you're living, right? The sense and essence of just being in your life and being content where you are, and not always needing to be somewhere in the future. Okay? This is where anxiety comes in. This is where worry and overthinking comes in. Living a fake life in your head instead of living where you are in the present moment. You know what I mean? We're either living in the past or we're living in the future, but we're very seldomly actually living presently within ourselves and saying, okay, what can I enjoy out of my life right now? We're always thinking about the future, where we should be, where we have to get to next, right? This is our culture where we're always running around. So if we check off everything on our to-do list, what happens? We wake up tomorrow and we have the same exact thing. It's like this recurring cycle, a never-ending cycle of just like to do, of just getting somewhere, of running, of chasing, but never being satisfied where we are. So just realize, no matter how many times you cross off from the list, or you get to the next step in your life, there's always going to be this need for more, as long as you're living from that headspace. Okay, and that's that little person that lives in your head, opening that door and telling you that you should be somewhere else than where you are. But the reality is that you are where you are, right? That's the truth of it. That's the reality. That's the fact of it. So I just want to create an awareness around when you feel frustrated. A lot of times, it's not that you're actually stuck, okay? It's just that the little voice in your head is telling you that you're stuck and you need to be somewhere else. You are where you are right now, and you are where you are for a reason, okay? And, when you would try to control every little thing in your life, what's going to happen? Things aren't going to go as planned, and you're going to get even more frustrated. So you have to have some leeway there and be open to possibilities in your life. The more open you are to possibilities, the more you will see that different things come in, and you may notice certain things that come in that you haven't noticed before. When you're closed off, right? When you're trying to control, you're frustrated, you're closed off from seeing. You're closed off from seeing any other possibilities in your life. You're closed off from seeing all the infinite possibilities, maybe, that want to come into your life. You're not attracting them because you're not open to them at all. You're closed off because you think this is the only way my life should go. And everything else is just not in existence for you. So open yourself up to the possibility. Just realize that control is an illusion. You can only control so much in your life. You can control your reactions, how you, I guess, see or feel things in your life, but you can't control every little thing in the world, right? And every expectation is not going to always go as planned, because the road is often bumpy in life, and we're not supposed to be on just a smooth ride, because we would never grow. So anyway, hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know. Comment below, like this video, subscribe. I truly appreciate you watching and supporting small channels such as mine, and appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.